2104, good luck. Okay, we're just checking for new accounts. It's not a new account, so we'll play this. Let's go back to the carrot. Okay, is he going to play the 2 knights? He isn't. He is going to play quickly though. See, we can just block if he plays knight and pawn up, knight up, bishop up somewhere, castle. So we'll play knight up. So I can check and he can go here and I can play knight forward. We might walk into tricks though. I don't really want to do that. I'm just going to play the bishop up and go ultra cautious and just create the block there. So he has indeed brought the knight up, so we'll guard. And we just want the bishop up somewhere or other in castle. He's created a pin, so we're just going to break that pin. Same here. And now we're going to castle. And now we need to try and come up with a bit of a plan if we can. Oh, he's chosen to take. Okay. So we really need to take with the bishop there. Just put it safe. He's coming over. So I've got knight back. We can hit the knight. We can hit the bishop. And he hits everything. But knight back, it's sensible to charge this. I mean, he could launch forward and we could take, but then we could take the knight as well. If he takes anywhere, which way we're covered, aren't we? So let's come back and everything hits everything. And with black, we're just trying to equalize the position. And if we get chances to play for a win further down the line, fair enough. If we don't, we don't. He attacks both of them, so we need to take there. Oh, he's traded there as well. So c5 is the logical move to try and chip away here our backward pawn before he gets this improved. Now that gives us a chance to play knight across with a tempo attacking the queen. If he comes forward, we can attack the queen again. If he goes back, I guess we can just move, maybe something like this. Now, do I need the knight to go here? If I go here, potentially he could play knight out wide soon, stop us going there, but it seems like a natural move to hit the queen. Say forward, we get another natural move. Otherwise, I'm just going to try and push. I think it needs to be the c pawn before he's got c3 in. So let's play that and try and chip away here. And see how he coordinates the rooks. Logic would say put them in the center. He could just blast a pawn forward. So it could get a bit wild. He takes. Okay, so I think we just need to take back. There is no knight jumping forward here, so take back. So rook across. It's protected by the other rook. There is a potential attack from the queen, but it does attack the pawn. If he moves it, the knight is then a bit loose. We get the other rook over, right? Alternatively, we can just go here, but a pawn's a pawn. So what if I move the queen in instead? Say here, then rook here. I think the rook seems fine here. I just mustn't forget that the queen attacks the rook. Right now, the other rook guards it, but the rooks can't go wandering off if it's under attack from the queen. It's just a logical move just to hit the pawn. If he defends it, we can even just move the same rook and come and attack the knight. And he's fine to move it. His other rook guards here. Again, we might get a bit jumpy, but I don't see any immediate attack. So he might be just trying to decide here whether he wants to gambit this pawn and go for something very aggressive, which he could do. I'm just wondering actually, have I got pawn forward here? Because then the knight still can't jump in. So here with a view to go in here and just gain that bit of tiny extra space, but the further up the board you go, the harder they are to protect. Whereas right now we've got a nice chain, but we can potentially do this and do this. And then maybe just put the rooks in the center instead. That might be a concept for us. But yeah, I think he is actually fine to push his pawn. The queen guards the knight. Knight across here, he can still shuffle across plenty of squares to protect. He could even go here and offer the trade, although I guess I can push. So knight out wide if he does this. Let's just clear our mind. We'll wait for him to make his move instead of trying to calculate too much in advance. So we'll just see what he does. In fact, rook b4 could be a nice move as well. Just get the rook forward into the game. Rook across to c8, the b rook. Just so it's no longer under attack by the queen, or potentially under attack by the queen. This is what you've got your 10 minutes for when you get a a moment where there's a potential issue, slow down and use your time. That's what it's for. But I'm trying to clear my mind now. I'll wait and see what he's actually done, and then I'll try and calculate. Otherwise, I'm just going to get too much in my head, and then I'll mess up. You can't help calculate sometimes, though, can you? I'm looking at just chucking this pawn down the board as well. Just say it's a little bit lonely here, not doing a great deal. Just get it as far up as you can. But the more it goes up the board, the harder it is to keep it and protect it. And at some point, I need to give myself an emergency square. My opponent's already managed to do that. But I just wonder if he's debating whether to sack the B pawn and get the knight a bit jumpy, get it a bit active. If the knight moves, say, to E2, he can prepare a move like C4. So he might be debating with himself whether to just go really attacking here. He could even play maybe knight to A4. Guard the pawn with a knight and then play B3, I guess. There's lots of options, isn't there? Lots of options, but... but yeah, I'm liking the general feel of pushing my two centre pawns one square each. Just chuck them up the board as far as I can, stick both rooks behind them. That sort of concept, I like the feel of that. It seems... You'll just gain a bit more space, and it gives us a chance to play, but it gives us a chance to lose them as well. He's thinking a long time, and I hope we are connected. There's no server issue. I've got an excellent connection. My opponent's got an excellent connection. Oh, we're both in Europe, so we should be on the European server, which is in the Netherlands, I think it is, isn't it? We should be there, so we should have a decent connection. But yeah, he's thinking a long time. But if it thinks for too long, it could be that one of us is actually disconnected. So it could be that he's actually made a move and it's not registered at my end. I don't know. But I don't want to go messing about refreshing screens and breaking things. But the clock is, as you can see, is just ticking at my end here. It's just ticking and ticking. But if he's a good bullet player, he can easily use 5 minutes on a move and still rattle off plenty of quick moves. No problem doing that. But yeah, from his point of view, I think he can push the pawn, and then you still protect your knight. I can attack the queen, you just shuffle it. There's no immediate threat to the queen, to the knight. Then you can move across, and he has indeed gone to protect it. So can I do this now? Or even can I do this? Takes, and just put a lot of pressure on the pawns, but I feel like I should actually not worry about this so much now. Just shuffle this one here and put pressure on here. I guess if he does this, we can then get a bit more jumpy, right? I'm going to move that rook. I want to put a little bit of pressure on now that he's used a lot of time. So he's moved quickly there, so I think I can push the pawn here. Because he can't jump in the center in one go. But now I'm going to push this one, although I can go here. That might give him a chance to blunder the knight in. So I do have knight forward here. He can attack this though, so that maybe makes sense as a first point. He could get really aggressive and push. Right now there'd be a discovered check. We guarded this, we're looking to play a rook across. Ooh, so that might give me a chance to push here as well. Right now he's covered here. So if I shuffle the rook across here then, I'm threatening to just push this here as well. I want to get this one into play as well, but you can see he's moving really quickly now. Wait, can I take there? He'd have to go with the queen, right? If I push here though, he can't take and I can just push on. So I can just push here. Or he can, well, if he takes, I take the queen. He takes my queen, I take his knight. So there to go, there looks very nice, doesn't it? Okay, let's do it then. I've got to try and play with a decent pace to keep him under time pressure. But like I say, if he's a natural bullet player, he can rattle off shed loads of moves fairly quickly. But I'm trying to just march the pawns on here, why not? Or even go here now. If I lose a pawn, gain a queen, lose a queen, gain a rook. So if I go here, we're threatening to bust this wide open. Here, here, here. That was the move I intended. And what does he do with his knight? Say he goes here. We can just get behind it and push anywhere, right? So what if I do this? If he takes, we take, and we attack the queen twice. So that's the potential move. That's the move I was really looking at. But if we go here, he could counter. We gain a queen with the pawn. And I guess he can play rook takes here. I don't like the look of that. So I think I want to just stick to the plan and push here. And try and get this rook across and just march forward. Okay. Let's shuffle this rook across and into the centre. He might be able to barricade this, of course. He might be able to create a nice barricade here, but potentially knight across and push. Do we potentially just go for a sack and take, and take? Let's throw a holding move in. There is a target here as well. Say queen across. The problem is, because they've gone up the board, the further up they go, the harder they are to protect. So he wants to release this. What about just a nice simple queen across and attack this? Queen up, he can just go here. Queen across looks nice. It just overprotects the pawn. I guess it takes away a square for the knight here. Oh, he's pushed. So we can grab a pawn now. And if he takes, we take here. And if he goes here, we get a nice check. So pawn's a pawn, right? If I push here, he just takes, no good. If I take here, he's got knight takes, no good. So I'm just going to take this. If he comes here, I'll just come straight back, threatening to then actually take. I think. If he takes here, knight gets jumpy with threats of checks. And we may be even threatening to go for this exchange sack in order to push on, but we'd need to keep both pawns. If we can't do that, no point doing it. So he shuffled his king back. So can I actually take now and bust this open? Rook takes would be a check. We take back. That's what I really want to do. Oh, actually, he can't play rook takes because he'd hang his rook here. So here, he can take here. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate, isn't it? So what about just queen back here or here then? Let's just come back to where we were and try and figure it out again. Takes, probably go with a rook. He wants to take here, doesn't he? So if I go the knight, queen takes. Yeah, I think we just go with the rook there. I think he'll take the pawn and I'll maybe just double up. So it might actually peter out this. Might actually be ended up petering out into nothing. Can I take here and allow this? I don't think it works. Rook across takes. I don't like the look of it. I'm just going to take. So it's 4 pawns each. So if I just chuck this up the board. He's done well there, hasn't he? Let's chuck this up the board. He's done very well there. He's dealt with the threat. The threat is largely gone now, so... I mean, a queen guards rooks, and that's a thing. My knight guards as well. Oh, he's offering a trade. But I like playing endgames with anyone and everyone, so... that's an option. If he goes with the knight, I guess we push the pawn. But he's got 2 pawns here. That's dangerous. I don't think I can risk it right now. So maybe queen here and push on. I might be starting to go a bit wrong here, because if I don't, he's got this jump, hasn't he? Yeah, I'm going to have to take. I think I'm going to have to go here and hit this pawn. If I could just trade a pawn for one of these pawns, we're still in the game, but I think the advantage is probably swung back to white now. I might be wrong. He's gone there, so I've got knight here or here threatening to win this pawn. Knight here gives him a chance to blunder. Well, it doesn't give him a chance to blunder. He's got that, and he's got that. But it stops him going here, actually, doesn't it? Yeah, let's go here because we stop this. If he goes here, there's a check, but his knight covers. So maybe I can just push here, but if he gets jumpy with this knight, could be a problem. But we're threatening to take here. I guess he can just push it. We can counter push here. And then maybe even potentially push on again. But then I guess he just gets past and gets a bit messy, doesn't it? A bit messy. But if we could swap 1 for 1, then it's just one isolated pawn. It's easier to deal with. Okay, so knight across is a move, and I think he can just push on. Oh, actually, can he? No, he can't. Here is a move. If he goes here, he blunders this. And if he takes, I take with check. So that's actually still a move. We hit the rook, and if he doesn't attack our knight, say he goes somewhere else, we can take his pawn. That's a move, isn't it? If he takes, we take with check. If he goes here, he blunders the rook. And if he goes anywhere else, we can take here, right? So we've got that pawn off that we wanted. Now we need to try and get this one. So he's going to take here. So here, no reason not to. If he attacks the rook, we can drop the rook back. Then shift the knight potentially with check. So we can go with a check here. He can actually step forward, but check here, check here. Maybe we grab a pawn. I think it's right to check. I might be wrong. I mean, I can go here. I think a check feels right. If he steps forward, maybe he's actually fine, but I can check here and win this pawn if he risks that. But it gets his king active, so he might actually risk it. He might well risk it. Oh, he's gone there, so I think we check here. If he goes this way, we can win the pawn. Is he happy to repeat? Is he happy to repeat? I think a draw might be a good result here. There's no trick that I see. We've got a draw, but it was a nice game, wasn't it? At our level, that felt like a nice game. Let's review it and see what it was in engine speak. Oh wow, we've both played it around 90 level, around a 2450, 2500 level game. Nice game at our level. We were better, but only +2, so we never had a, at amateur level, a clean winning advantage. He defended it very well, and it is just a draw at the end, so we did right to take the draw. So let's just review it. Okay, the last book move. Yeah, it's a little bit faster, isn't it? Indeed, he did have knight across there to guard the pawn with an ID to b3. That's a move he spent a lot of time on. And if I'm making any bad mistakes here, it'll slow down, it'll stop, and it'll highlight them. So there he could have played b4 instead of pushing here. So that was a great move. That was the right move to make. Okay. So it was good to take the pawn, but I could have taken here as well. And eventually not worried about them, but tried to chip away at his king's defences. I might have took the wrong pawn there, but it's still giving it as a good move. Well, it's an excellent move. Okay, that was a mistake. I should have taken the pawn here and left the queen here for that move. I shouldn't have tried to keep this structure. I should have taken here. Okay. And this is where we're already back to level now, and it's just basically flatline level the rest of the game. So we both played it pretty well. And then we've repeated. But at our level, that's from both of us. That's a very good game. So very, very good.